far right. Clear on the right. Car on your left. Clear.
Alright, what's up lads? It's finally time for an updated sim rig tour. Now that we've been settled into this house for a couple months now. And things aren't really going to change too much from here, I don't think. But yeah, here it is. We'll start with the chassis, which is just a aluminum profile, as you know most of them are these days. This one's all DIY. I just kind of ordered parts from tnuts.com and then put stuff together. Monitor stands DIY, chassis DIY. I'm also using like leftover cuts of extrusion for the passenger area. You can kind of see some of it down in there. But yeah, it's all profile. It's great. It's a little bit narrower than most commercial rigs, but I kind of wanted it that way just to keep the footprint relatively tight. And in a very Ship of Theseus way, this is also the first rig I ever built. I think the only original components at this point are that horizontal piece by the wheelbase uprights, and then also these rails that the seat sits on. Everything else has been replaced at some point. Let's see. For wheelbase and pedals, I'm using a SimMagic Alpha U and P1000s with the haptic reactors on the brake and throttle. For the brake, I just do like ABS effects and stuff, and the throttle is gear shifts, which is kind of fun. Just gives you a little pulse when you shift gears. For monitors, I'm using these 32-inch AOC monitors. I believe they are the C32 G4s. They're VGA panels, 1500R curvature. I think the refresh rate is 180. They're not bad. I mean, they're VA panels, so there's a little bit of ghosting, a little bit of smearing, but it's not nearly as bad as some older VA panels. Actually, that 34-inch monitor on my desk there is really, really awful when it comes to ghosting and whatnot. So now I'm going to go ahead and climb into this thing, and in order to do that, the door bar is on a hinge, so swing that out of the way, then undo this clasp for the net. These nets are from Picorni Engineering, and then these badges I just got on Etsy. Had this one made, and then these are some stickers that, you know, line up nicely on the net, so I just put them on there. And then, you know, various other badges that I've stitched on. My sewing skills are very rudimentary, but it gets the job done. And getting in this thing's a little tight because the halo on the seat is so big. Pardon my little bird legs. Once you're in, it's pretty nice. Nice and snug. Wheel's pretty darn close to me, but that's how I like it. Like, I don't know if you can see the bend in my elbow, but it's about 90 degrees. And the wheel's pointing more or less at the bottom of my neck. Yeah, so let's just pop this thing out of the way so you guys can see more of what's going on here. So from left to right, we've got one of the outputs from my wind kit. We've got this little Pace Logic type deal. A little stream deck. These are just pieces of carpet that I cut to fit kind of where they needed to go. A little piece of gaff tape here covering this part of the aluminum. Using a 6-inch output shaft extension on the Alpha U to get it kind of high up and then pointing the way that I want to have the wheel at the right angle. Let's see. Stream Deck XL, little LED flag matrix, and the other output from the fan kit. This is just a little LED strip. You can barely see this thing in the videos just because of where my arm sits. It just blocks it. I can see it pretty well when I'm using the rig, but my arm blocks it out of the camera view. And then there's some little bits of cardboard that I kind of cut to shape and wrapped in Alcantara just to fill in the gap. This old button box was something that my dad made forever ago for me, and I use it all the time. I mean, my ignition starter right here, brake bias is over here. And over time, the functions that all these buttons do have changed, and I've been too lazy to change the labels on them. Let's see, so here's the start-stop button for the wheelbase, right in the middle of everything. This is a SimJack shifter that I got on AliExpress forever ago. I don't really use it very often, but it's nice to have. Like, if I lose connectivity on my wheel, I can still shift gears. And then the whole wheel ordeal, as I'll call it, is quite fun. So all of these cables are for different wheels. This one's for the Ox XGT Ultimate. This one's for my DSH. This one is for the Sim Racing Bay Lambo wheel. Cube controls. This one is GSI and SimMagic MagLink. And then I also have this USB port right here because a couple of my wheels, actually right now it's just the GT4, but the GT4 wheel I kind of broke the wireless connection in it when I was opening it up to put the hub on. But it still works over USB, so I just kind of gaff taped that cable in there, and I just plug it into here when I want to use it, and it works great. Let's see, I've got a little bracket here that I rest my headphones on. I love these things. These are the Audio-Technica M50X-STSs, so standard studio headphones, but they have this little mic on them, and it's great. You flip it up and it mutes it, flip it down, you can talk. It sounds really good. Like, the mic sounds good and the cans sound good, so it makes me quite happy. Cages are just a PVC pipe. This piece I just took a hole saw to and just kind of went in sideways to get the angle that I wanted, and then just taped it up in place with some white gaff tape. This one is Velcro tied to the bottom of the rig so that the cat doesn't knock it over when she wanders in here. And then, yeah, the passenger area is just these aluminum plates, more pieces of PVC, and then some cardboard wrapped in carbon fiber, and this net that I made. It's really, really sloppy, but it's just to have something over there, you know? My fourth monitor is a 24-inch. It's an AOC C24G2. This is actually my very first gaming monitor many, many years ago. But it's quite good, and it serves this purpose extremely well. Let's go talk about wheels. Getting back here is always fun. Okay, so let's talk about all the wheels. This one right here is the only wheel I have with a screen on it. This is the Leox XGT Ultimate. I don't use it very often, but it is quite good to have, just when I really need a wheel with a screen. This one is currently the oldest wheel in my lineup. This is the SimMagic GT4C. I absolutely love the grips on this thing, and it's like 310 millimeter diameter. Online, their website says it's 300, but it's definitely a little bit bigger than all my other 300 millimeter wheels. This wheel is absolutely stunning. This is the DSH PR8 Evo 2. It's a replica of the Audi R8 Evo 2 wheel, and it's just stunning. It's so well made. Materials are incredible. The shifters feel just superb. Very different than all my other sim racing wheel shifters, but like there's a little less resistance in the initial pull, but the way they feel when they contact like that is just perfect, and the sound is amazing. All the buttons on this wheel sound and feel perfect. The knobs are great. Every single thing about this wheel is wonderful, but I don't really use it very often because it's just too nice. It's a little bit too nice to be a daily driver, so it mostly just kind of hangs out, but it's absolutely stunning. And then we'll work down here. Got the SimMagic GT Neo, of course. I covered up the LED strip with a piece of gaff tape because the angle that it sits at makes it reflect my lighting array, and it just looks bad. And I don't really care much for lighting on wheels for rev strips or anything. But I do have the MagLink set up on here. I don't use this thing wirelessly. I use everything cabled. I do like this wheel. It's quite good. Good to have as sort of a stand-in for whatever GT3 wheel I don't have, you know. This wheel sees a lot of use because I love the Lamborghini. This is the Sim Racing Bay official GT3 USB version 2. They have since updated this wheel, but this one is just very, very good. Really, really great shifters. I think it uses Asher Racing shifters. Yeah, you can see the Asher Racing logo right there. But I love this wheel. It's the heaviest wheel that I own, so it kind of dampens force feedback a little bit, but you know, that's why I have the Alpha U, so I can just crank that thing up and feel whatever I need to feel. But yeah, beautiful wheel. I love the Lamborghini GT3, and I love how this wheel looks and feels. These grips are by far my favorite out of any wheel that I own. And we've got some smaller wheels down here. We've got the older Cube Controls F-Core. Very, very simple wheel, but you know, it works. It's lightweight, feels good in the hands. Good to have. Well, this one was a Christmas gift for my girlfriend. This is the GSI X29. Really, really great wheel. Wonderful feeling shifters, wonderful feeling grips, great buttons, great feel. I used this one for the Daytona 24 right after I got it, and I had a wonderful time with it. I absolutely love this thing. Wheel I've been using most recently is this Cube Controls GT Pro V2 hub with the Zero rim on it. This is the rubber variant, which I'm okay with the rubber variant. I kind of wish I got the leather one, or even the Alcantara one, just so it would grip better with more gloves. But it's really good. I love the shifters on this thing. And yeah, I did add on the clutch paddles, which is nice to have. But yeah, wonderful, wonderful little wheel. What else is there to talk about? Let's talk about the lighting. so I need to kind of get out of here. It's gonna crouch underneath the boom of the C-stand and then stand up, and then we're out of there. Alright, so the lighting on this rig is probably one of the more complex things about it. So I'm using this big old softbox with a Neewer MS60C in it for my static wash, and I have two more Neewer, I can't remember what these lights are called, but there's little 20 watt RGB lights. There's one, there's another one over the passenger side. But I just use those for like static color temperature and general brightness. They work really well for that. And I have 4 pairs of Gobi 6056s. There's 3 of them inside this softbox. Let's see if you can see those. There's one, there's others, and the other side's just mirrored. And then there's another pair set up for the passenger area, and those do, you know, color and reactive stuff and ambient lighting. And altogether it works pretty well. And here's the PC for anyone who was wondering about that. This is a 9800X3D and a 5080 with 64 gigs of RAM. Yeah, it's an absolute beast of a machine. Does everything I need it to do. I generally run my FPS capped at about 90 these days, just to keep the computer from working too hard in this small room, because it gets pretty dang hot in here if this thing is working at max capacity. So I try to keep it at like 80% capacity. Let's see, let's take this light in my hand and we'll go to the back of the rig just to show you guys what it looks like back here. Oh, it's kind of hard to get back here, but yeah, here we are. It's kind of just a mess of cables and parts and things. Here's the control box for the wind kit and the fans for those back here. A little pedal box illuminator light, and then here's the passenger area illuminated light. I kind of made this baffle out of gaff tape just to kind of keep this area up here a little bit more shady. And here's one of the Gobi 6056s. There's the other one. And yeah, here's the back of everything. Party in the front, party in the back, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's always so fun getting back there. Oh. Here's my webcam. I'm using a Elgato Facecam 4K, which is fine. I don't really stream as much as I used to just because I don't really care to. Maybe I'll get back into it, but it's an adequate camera. Does the job. No problems with it, so you know. And while I'm over here, here's a whole bunch of guitars. This 8-string I've had for ages. Had this thing since 2013. This is an RG8 with tortoiseshell pickguard and lace pickups. And yeah, just keep this thing tuned to 8-string standard for learning like periphery songs on 8-string. Great sounding guitar, great looking guitar, great playing guitar, honestly. Like the neck's pretty chunky because it was a kind of an earlier production 8-string from Ibanez, but it still plays great. This one's real pretty. This is a Charvel SoCal Pro Mod 2. Has a Telecaster shape, but with 24 frets and humbuckers and all that. This one's real cheap. This is my cheap Chinese Telecaster clone, a little thin line. I always wanted a thin line Tele, so I bought the cheapest one I could find, and it sounds really, really good. When I bought this thing, it had a blown preamp, so I ripped that out of there, put in this Seymour Duncan humbucker, and then just routed that straight to the volume knob and straight to the output jack. So it's dead simple. You can't really screw it up because it only sounds one way, but it sounds lovely. Very, very thick sounding. Especially with these flat wounds on it. Yeah, great bass. And then its brother here, it's another Stingray. Both of these are Sterlings, by the way. They're not actual Ernie balls. I don't have that kind of money. These two basses have been on a lot of different records. A lot of songs that I worked on. Yeah, great sounding instruments. This one is the most recent addition. Now you might look at it and say, what sort of dingwall is that? It's not a dingwall. It's a Bryce, which is a really stupid name for a company. But it's made from the same people that make Agile guitars, which I do have one of their 7-strings here. Same body shape as that 7-string, actually. But I was just looking for like a really good playing extended range bass with like 37-inch scale length on the bass side, 34 on the treble side. Currently I have this thing tuned to drop A flat, because that's what the songs I've been tracking are in. Yeah, beautiful bass. I made these pick guards myself. I just freehanded it with a Dremel and sandpaper, and it came out pretty good. It's not perfect. Like there's a little bit of a gap here and there, and pickup hole's too big, but you know, whatever. For freehanding it with a Dremel, not bad. This is an Agile Intrepid 72527. So 27-inch scale length on the bass side, 25.5 on the treble side. I added in a coil split, or a push-pull pot for coil splitting. So, you know, If you want those spanky Tesseracty tones, this guitar can do it just great. And then this one I got because I really just wanted something with stainless steel frets. This is a Schecter Sunset Elite 7. Gorgeous guitar. This is just a flame maple veneer, super thin veneer too. Like, it has no depth to it whatsoever. But it looks really good, sounds really good. The pickups are really low output compared to most of my other guitars. So I kind of have to juice my modelers on the way in a bit with pedals and whatnot. Oh, and then here's the other one of those basses. Actually got this one first. It's green. Whoa. Yeah. Great bass. Wonderful instruments. I spend a lot of time working on music, so I have an arsenal. I also have a flute. I got really obsessed with Jethro Tull a few years back, so I bought a couple of flutes. This one was like $80 on Amazon, but it sounds really good. Yep. And since I'm sure a couple of people will wonder what's going on over here, here's my racks. I've had this rack case for years. I got this one. This is a 16U rack case. I got this one and a 12U one on Craigslist for like $60. So I tossed those in. I had a Honda Odyssey at the time, so I tossed those in the back of my Honda Odyssey, and I've just kind of moved with them ever since. The gear that's in them has changed a lot over the years. But we'll start up top. This is a first generation Axe FX. Still works. It's 20 years old now, but cooling fan's a little bit loud, but that's fine. Sounds great. Really fantastic processor. This power amp here actually powers the transducer bolted to the bottom of my seat. So before I get in the rig, I have to remember to flip this switch, which happens like most of the time. I do forget occasionally. Yeah, nice little power amp. I got a Behringer X32 rack, which I use as my audio interface for my other computer, which is over there. Yeah, having a lot of inputs is just really nice. Like when you're working on recording stuff and just trying different things, it's good to have a bunch of different inputs. Got this little shelf, some pedals on it. Got a Dark Glass B7K and a Super Symmetry wireless receiver from my old Line 6 G30. This thing, I actually just picked this up recently, the old Line 6 Pod X3 Pro. I had an X3 Live when I was in high school, and I was just like craving some nostalgic guitar sounds. So I grabbed this thing, and it's really fun to play around with, and I'm actually using it for tracking bass on some stuff. But yeah, that's the rack. Now you know. I think that's about all I have to say about this rig. It's been a long time building this thing, but it's come out quite well. It's very, very fun, very immersive rig to drive. I really like it. Thanks for watching.